I get so excited when it comes back. Like you have no idea how excited I get. So, so welcome everyone back. I am excited to have this conversation because you were actually the second person that's ever reached out to me that was like, you know what? I think I want to do this. Like, that's kind of cool. Let's chat. And so thank you for reaching out. And I am super excited just to hear all about you, your channel, what you're doing, anything you want to share with us. I'm all ears, and I'm sure everybody's going to be all ears. So if you just want to start with just like introducing yourself, let us know who you are, let us know what you do on your YouTube channel. I've obviously already stalked it, so you can say whatever you want to say. And for future reference for everybody, the show notes will have all of his information also, just in case it's easier for everybody to click. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Cool. Well, first off, I want to say thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate the opportunity, and I came across it on YouTube, and I was like, wow, I think I would be a great fit, to be on the show. But um, I am Chris Miller. I go by Konnxct. I am a sports travel. I'm a travel sports vlogger. I go to different colleges and sometimes professional events, and just vlog my whole experience, the travel, from the airport to the hotel to the game to the restaurants. The
We lost him. That good old hotel internet. That good old hotel internet. Don't you worry.
oh,
We will decide after this if you want me to cut it out or not, but I kind of like the realness of these
you do.
interviews.
Okay.
Yeah. So like perfection isn't real. So I always preach, I'm like, we're real
Mhm.
humans, right? Like sometimes your
Right.
Wi-Fi messes
Right.
up. It's what it is. So what made you get into traveling as far as like covering sports? Because I feel like some people like to travel, some people like sports. Not a lot of
Right.
people marry those two things
Like together.
together.
Yeah.
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 So what made you get into doing both of those two things together?
So, for me, I would always go to like different college football games. I graduated from Florida State University, and that's a
Mm.
Power Four school. So we're serious about our football, and sometimes I would travel with them and just going just to see how other schools, um, how they how their programs are, just like their history, and just I love stuff like that, encompassing and engulfing myself in the history of different programs just to see, because I love the game. I love
Yeah.
sports as a whole, from football, baseball, basketball to even soccer like MLS, but most importantly I'm focusing on college football right now.
Okay.
Like I said, I went to FSU, and now that I've graduated, I'm able to move around and travel more, going to different games. And one of the, of course, the talk of college football is Coach Prime and the Buffalo. So that was when I realized what was actually taking place. I was like, okay, this is the moment to jump in all out and really just go for it. And so far, it's been great. I've been receiving great feedback from everyone. I
Yeah.
really enjoy what I do. It's my passion. And also, I played college football as well. I played for Savannah State University. I was a
Nice.
quarterback there. And before I
Oh, a
transferred in,
quarterback, huh?
yeah,
I love
yeah,
that. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, a little fun
I
fact, a
Yeah, I
little
love that.
fun
And
fact.
so you said Coach Prime. So when he was it Colorado or was it like at Jackson State? You were like, this is kind of cool. And then he went to Colorado and you were like, you know what? This is the opportunity. Like, this is the moment.
Well, I started following him as soon as. Well, let's go back. Let's go back. I always followed Shador and Shiloh, when they were in high school, and then when Coach Prime was coaching them up, I was like, okay, this is building up to be something much
Yeah.
bigger. And then they went to Jackson State, and Shiloh came to Jackson State. I was just like, okay, now you have both of your sons here playing for you, um, at a HBCU, which is culture here everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually went to the last game he coached for Jackson State, and that was my first time seeing them play. Um,
Okay.
and this was before we even knew, that he would be, leaving and going to Colorado, I made that decision. I was like, I have to go see these guys play. They had college game day come to
Mm-hmm.
Jackson State, which was it's unheard of for like an HBCU. Of course, they do it a few times, but that was massive. And for Coach Prime to just go about things in such a classy, professional way, it just makes me gravitate more to his work. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And so when he, let's get the elephant out of the room. You've had the chance to interview him. So you follow him, you follow his sons, you follow him to Jackson State. He goes to Colorado. You have a chance to talk to him. Were you like, this is my moment? I'm talking to Coach Prime, or were you like, this is my moment. Get focused. I'm interviewing Coach Prime. Like, how did you feel when you realized it was going to happen?
I'll tell this to you. I have never told this to anyone else, but the whole week I was thinking of a great question to ask Coach Prime.
Good for you.
It was on my mind, and I was like, I don't want to just ask any regular question, but like something I would already know. And
Hmm.
I had to dig really deep, and all of a sudden, like 30 minutes until it's time to go to the Big 12 conference, I came up with a question, and my question was, uh, what how did he feel about young African American males looking up to him and wanting to be in a Power Five football coach, and the influence that he had on not just college football, but specifically African American young males.
Right.
And I feel like that question really hit his heart, and it took him a while to give a response, but it was very genuine, and I can tell it came from a great place. So
I love that. I think sometimes the best questions come right at the last minute
right,
because it's like your body's telling you like, "Oh god, I need it, I need it, I need it," and then it pops
yeah.
up. So good for you. And I respect that you were trying to ask him something different. We always hear, the same thing. So that's awesome. Were you nervous? Like was that moment what you thought it was going to be? Like how was that whenever it was happening and then as soon as it was over, did you walk away and go, "Did I hit record? Did I get it?" Like how did you feel when it was over?
Yeah, so I can admit I was extremely nervous asking the question because Coach Prime, he's a serious guy, and he takes his profession very seriously. So I didn't want to ask an unprofessional question,
Yeah.
but at the same time I wanted to be genuine, and then I wanted my question to come from the heart, and I wanted him to feel the
Yeah.
emotion and the passion that I had from that question, and he did. And his response at the end of after he answered his question, he said, "Great question, man." That was just like
That's it.
that was it. That was it for me.
Yeah.
The
Can
silver
I
lining.
just say something though? I
Of
That's
course.
how I feel when people watch some of my videos or my content and people like you like reach out and they're like, "Hey, I kind of want to be a part of this." Like there's no better compliment than somebody wanting to be a part of or complimenting you for something you just created out of thin air basically.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I know that feeling. So that's awesome. So you went to the game. So just so everybody knows this is recorded the day after Colorado beat North Dakota State. And so I will ask the food question, but not first. How was that experience for you? Was there anything that you experienced at the game that you experienced because you were there that maybe we wouldn't have experienced because we were like at home and we didn't get the vibes, we didn't get the energy, we didn't get, we have timeouts and random interviews and random things happening on our TV. But how was that
Yeah.
experience for you?
First off, let me just say, Colorado, their physical stature has changed. Changed.
Okay.
They would always mention, oh, the guys, they look so small. No, these are a new
Okay.
set of guys, new class coming in, new transfers coming in. That was the first thing. The second thing, we have a extremely fast receiving core. Those
Mm,
guys are so fast. The TV doesn't do it any justice. Shador's arm strength is so much stronger in person, and you can see how fast the ball is moving. The
yeah.
velocity on it
It's gorgeous.
it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And every time after I'm not sure if y'all could hear, but every time after he scored a touchdown or threw a touchdown pass, they played perfect timing, and I thought that was really
Oh, I
cool.
couldn't.
Oh, they didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
That was really cool. I have it in my vlog, so if they check out my vlogs, you can hear it. But
yeah. Yeah. Well, make sure you link that vlog. I know. Yeah, we didn't hear that. And you're right. We can't see how fast the receivers are. To be honest, we barely can see them really
hmm
because it's
hmm
like we see him and then the ball gets and we don't know how they got open. I mean, we can watch the film, but I
right.
think watching film is different than live because you can't
Yeah.
really, So that's cool. Is there any you were on the side that Travis Hunter made that incredible catch, right?
Yeah, yeah, that was definitely a moment. You know how after every quarter they change which side that they're going to the end zone, right? So they at the end of the game they were coming towards my end of the end zone. I was like, okay, we're in the corner. They love to throw a fade route, to Travis in the end zone. I was like, it's
Yeah.
coming, it's coming.
Oh, that's awesome.
So the first ball came, and you remember it got deflected, or it
Hmm.
was pass interference or whatever. But then the second time it came, I was like, okay, I'm ready now. I had it, got it. I was like, after I recorded, I was like, what just happened?
You're
What
like,
just
no way
happened?
I got that on camera, did I?
Yeah, yeah. I was like, oh my gosh. But it was an amazing play. And then I see uh Gilly, Wallow and Gilly, they were on the sideline. I see Gilly jumping up and down. I'm like, yeah,
That's
this is
awesome.
crazy. This is crazy.
That's awesome. And if I think about it, when I release this, I will try to let people know what number, like where that is in the actual video so people
Right,
can make sure that they see that. So that's awesome.
right.
And the other thing is, how did you feel? Like, was the crowd loud or because you can't really tell crowd noise? And so I'm just not sure like what it's like there. Did you feel like it was loud or how did you feel like the environment was?
Yeah, so I will say this. North Dakota State, they brought a crowd. They brought a crowd. When I
Okay.
first when I first arrived in the game, and our the student section, they're coming in slowly but surely. But North Dakota State, they were there. They were loud as soon as their guys came out. But as soon as our student section filled up, they were live. They had the energy. They had the stadium rocking. Folsom Stadium was rocking when the
I
students
love
were
it.
there. It was crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to give an unpopular opinion, and I can't believe I'm going to say this verbally, but my unpopular opinion, I thought the jerseys were way too busy and I did
Um.
not love them. How
mm.
did they look in person?
Honestly, I love the jerseys. They
Okay.
really look nice. That was one thing I was curious about before going into the game too. I was like, okay, are they going to release the new uniforms? Are they going to
Yeah.
wait, or But I saw somewhere on Twitter that was the first time that they ever wore the combination of black helmet, black pants, and black jerseys, like an
Okay.
all black type deal. So
Got
I
it.
really liked that vibe. That was really cool.
Yeah. You know what I've realized too? I like basic uniforms.
Basic.
And
Okay.
so,
Okay.
yeah, so like I'm also a Texas fan, and Texas does the icy
Yeah.
whites with the orange, with the burnt orange.
Right.
Nothing beats
Right.
it because it's
Classic.
literally basic, simple. It's bright. You see it. And so when I saw it, I was like, ooh, and then I saw the sleeves and I saw the pants, and I was like, there's so much
Yeah,
going on. But
yeah,
sometimes things do look prettier in person. So that's why I was like, I bet in person it probably looked better. I'm just
yeah,
like,
yeah,
all right, like this is great.
yeah.
So I did you get to talk to anybody? Did you have any do you have you can say yes or no, you don't necessarily have to give me an
Mhm,
answer. Do you have
mhm.
other content that's going to be coming out from conversations that you have that you haven't released yet?
Most of my content is out right now.
Okay.
I released the press conference videos as well on my page.
Mhm.
But for this game, I really wanted to just focus on being in the moment and
Cool.
like really taking it in because this is their last first game at the University of Colorado.
Yeah.
So it bittersweet, but I just really wanted to take it in. So all the
Okay.
content is out right now. Yeah.
Awesome. And so when the season's all said and done
Mhm,
and it's over, whenever you in your mind you've concocted that it's probably going to be over,
mhm.
and you look back on this season as a Colorado fan, what does success look like to you this year? What is something that you are just thinking about as you go to each game? Obviously, you've played football. It's a long season. One game is one game, and two games is two games, and there's still a hell of a lot more to go.
Right.
But what is something that you're thinking about that you think would make that you would go, you know what, that was a good season. That was a
hmm
good season.
So I'll say at the bare minimum, a bowl game. a bowl
Okay.
win at the bare minimum. But I know that the way that offense was playing yesterday, oh my gosh, they are a top five offense in college football. Who
Well, that's
like
a
the guy like
bold statement.
I will, yeah, and I will stand behind that. I
Hey,
promise you.
listen,
Like
I
it's
always tell people if you can give me a reason and you stand on it,
right, right.
fine.
And granted our rushing game wasn't at its best. Our passing game was amazing. They couldn't stop us. They could not
Hmm.
stop us. But as soon as we get that defense together, and the secondary just locks in, we will be
Yeah.
a much better team as a whole.
Okay.
So
Yeah, and it should get better. And
yeah.
so the Colorado $1 million question, I feel like everybody always ask anybody, respectfully ask any black person that goes to Boulder
uh,
is where did you eat and where did you
ooh.
stay? So, do you have any places? You know what? Let me just say, shout out to black people because you know what? One thing we are really worried about, we always got to focus on the food. Okay, the food has
Yeah,
to be legit
yeah,
and
yeah,
we always got to make sure that there's places to stay. And I just love that for us. So
yeah.
shout out to black people. They're always worried about food. I respect it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm proud to be a part of that culture.
Hmm.
So, if you was there a couple places that you ate, or is there a lot of places that you ate? Like, what would you recommend? What are your thoughts?
So whenever I go to Boulder, I try to pick out a different mom and pop restaurant every
Love
time that
that.
I go.
Yes,
I
yes.
went to this place called Pasta J's. Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
I think I heard somebody
Oh,
talking about that. Okay,
it's
pasta J's.
amazing. It's
Okay,
amazing. But it's in located in downtown Boulder. But also in this area, there are many other mom and pop restaurants, and you can tell they've been there for a while. They have their own unique recipes, and some even have their own products. But I really enjoyed Pasta J's this last time. Um,
okay.
yeah, yeah. So
Do you stay in Boulder? Do you stay in Denver? Do you drive
so
in? What is kind of your formula?
Yeah, so number one,
Mhm.
I do not stay in Boulder. The hotels during the college football season are insane in Boulder. So what I usually do is there's a small area outside of Boulder called Broomfield. It's
Okay.
like in between Denver and Boulder, which granted there are so many small hotels between Denver and Boulder. Even if you want to stay in Denver, Denver is sometimes you may catch a reasonable deal, but
Yeah,
Broomfield is
sometimes.
usually my place of choice. So
Okay.
and
How
it's
far is
not far.
Broomfield?
About 15 minutes from Boulder.
Oh,
Just a
okay.
15
That's
minute
not bad
drive.
at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. Okay. Okay, cool. So if somebody listening to this is going to be their first time and they're getting
Hmm.
super excited because they're going to go see Colorado play Baylor. I think,
Hmm.
yes,
Hmm. Yep,
Baylor.
yep.
What is one thing you would say they need to do? Like, what is something like,
Hmm.
is it going to the Buff Stampede? Like, what is the thing where you're like, make sure you do this thing?
Right, right, right. So for me, I will say this. I'm a nature guy. I love the
Mm,
mountains. I love the scenery. It's so beautiful. When you're driving into Boulder, going down into the valley, it's just like the mountains just take your breath away, honestly. So for
I
me,
love
I
it.
would say just drive up into the mountains or even into the flat irons as they call them
Okay.
in Boulder. But also every night before a home football game they do have the Buff Stampede. That's where it's like a pep rally. All the cheerleaders, the band, and the football players and Coach Prime, they all come and meet in downtown Boulder right in front of the old courthouse. And I also have a video of that in my vlog, the
Yeah,
first vlog, and it's just a great time. You get to be around people who really love the University of Colorado and really support the Buffalo. So
I love that. And you mentioned you're doing every game this year,
yeah,
right?
every
Did I
game
read
this
that
year. Yep,
correct? Okay.
yep.
And so have you already I know what I want to ask, but I don't want to ask this live. I'll ask you that offline because
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
I'm weird with people like putting out too much information because people are kind of weird these days. So
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
table that.
yeah.
And so I know that you're at a hotel, and do you mind telling us what game you're going to be at
Oh,
tomorrow?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Tomorrow, well, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. Tomorrow, I will be at the Georgia Tech versus Georgia State game, and I'll be on the sidelines there. I know
Nice.
Georgia versus Clemson too. That's like a noon game, but I may catch that one. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
definitely going to be at Georgia
Okay.
Tech.
What is it like watching the game from the sideline when they're not close to you?
Hmm. Hmm.
Is it hard?
So,
Like, do you lean? Like, how do you,
well,
how can you,
that's
sorry,
a great
random
question
question
though.
that I did not prepare you for. I
No, no,
just
no,
was
no, no. That's
thinking
a
about
great
that.
question. That's a great question. Well, I played football my whole life from age 6 to 2020, and it's like once you're on the field, you're comfortable and you can figure out how to like see. But where I was standing at, it wasn't that much traffic coming by
Okay.
um, for the media, and it was just honestly, it was very surreal, just being down there and feeling the atmosphere, hearing the hits, and the whistle
Mm,
blowing, and it's
yeah.
just it gives me chills just to like really think about just being in that moment. It was
I love that.
second to none.
Awesome. So I don't want to hold you because you have other things to do, but I've been doing this thing lately where I'm like ending on a positive, ending on something motivational. Because the
Right.
funny thing is, people don't know this, but I sometimes go back and listen to what other people say when I'm just not feeling it, and it's
Hmm.
nice to hear how other people motivate themselves. So I know I sent you three different variations of how I'm going to ask this question,
No
but
problem.
I am going to say, what is the best advice that you've been given that you feel like have has really helped you in this stage of life that you're in, where it's like you're living out your passions, you're doing the things you want to do, you're talking to people that you probably have always wanted to talk to.
Hmm.
What is something that you feel like sometimes when you hear it in your head, you're like, man, that was really good advice?
So there are a few things. I'll name three. First, I would say, not in order, but first, I would say always being cool, calm, and collected.
Mm,
That was something that my grandfather instilled in me at a young age. Like, always be mellow and like aware. Second, I would say sacrifice. It may
oh, that's
seem
a good
simple
one.
as it may seem simple, but I sacrifice a lot to do what I'm doing now, and
Hmm.
it's like a return on investment. And whenever someone watches my video or someone just comment a simple comment, it that makes my whatever I sacrifice so much worth it. Makes the sacrifice worth it.
Yeah.
Um, Third, I would say. Uh, Chase your passion and your purpose, not money. Yeah. So
That's a
that
good
one,
one.
um, you can have $1 million and still feel terrible. It's
Hmm.
all about your passion and doing what you love. Um, and one quote that I I remember is many men live lives of quiet desperation, meaning that we have these things that we try to fulfill ourselves with, but ultimately we need our purpose in our life to really push us and drive us and give us something to look forward to every single day. So.
I know that's right. Come through quotes. I love quotes, obviously, but like you see them all over. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. And you know what? The sacrifice is huge. I don't think
Mhm.
people talk about the sacrifice. They talk about the joy and getting
Right.
to the top and achieving the thing, but they never talk about the work, the process, the sacrifice,
Right.
the all the things that you're probably dealing with. So thank you. I appreciate you
Mhm.
coming and talking to me. I'm going to be honest and say, if you want to come back and talk to me after every week, we can
Yeah.
do this every week and we can
Yeah.
just talk about the game or whatever because now you're introduced to my channel. I
Right.
think it's cool to see. I always tell people, if you've never been to a football game, you can't understand the dynamics of a football game because so much is happening inside the game that we never will get to see on TV. And
Yeah.
quite frankly, sometimes the coaches will never talk about because the media will never ask the question and we just don't see it. And
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
it's nice. Like I knew our receivers were fast, but I wasn't sure if they really showed up fast. If that makes Does that make
Oh my.
sense? I
Yeah.
think it
Yeah.
makes
It
sense.
does.
But
It does.
so I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on. If you want to mention just one more time the name of your channel, where they can find you, and what amazing content they will get, and then we'll end this because you already gave me a quote, so I'm good.
Yeah, I'm so grateful to be on. And but my name once again, my name is Chris Miller. I go by Konnxct, and I'm a college football vlogger. You can check out my videos at you on YouTube at Konnxct, Konnxct, which you see right here or over here. Yeah, that way. One of these ways. But yeah, I would really, I appreciate every like, comment, follow, subscribe, all of it. And I'm really just trying to give, the people a different perspective of the college football scene.
Hey, my little sentence says giving a different perspective. We're speaking
Really?
the same language. Yes.
Hey.
Yeah, it literally says, I think it literally says content with a different perspective.
Really? Wow.
That's my whole point of doing this is like, obviously being a woman, being a Black woman, talking about, being in this space. You don't really see a lot of people that look like me and people that will have conversations and then just doing it differently. Like, I'm here to learn from you. I'm here to hear about what you're experiencing. Forget what I'm experiencing. I want to know what you're experiencing. I know what I'm doing. Let me know what somebody else is doing. Like, that's how I get inspired. And so just thank you for reaching out. Thank you for chatting with me. And if we're all lucky, we will hear from you next week and we'll do it all again at a different hotel, probably.
Yeah. I'll actually be in Nebraska. So yeah, we can, I'm all for it. I love the conversation. It was, very genuine and great. So,
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I'm just saying, I don't know if you like volleyball. I don't know if you've ever watched a volleyball game, but if you go to Nebraska and you have a chance to watch a volleyball game, you will not regret it. Nebraska is very good at volleyball. Texas beat them last year. Hook 'em. But you will never regret going to see a Nebraska volleyball game. They're really good at volleyball. The fans are amazing.
So didn't they pack out the stadium, the football stadium? They packed out the football stadium.
Wow. They packed out the football stadium. They were in the championship game last year. I think they're ranked number 2 right now. Wow. Like, they are legit. You will, even if you don't know what's going on, you will appreciate just being there because the environment is just different. So just FYI.
Try, yeah. I'll look out and see if they have a game. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate your platform and what you're doing. It's amazing. I saw it. I was like, this is great content. It's high quality. I would love to, hopefully have the opportunity and keep doing what you're doing. And it's amazing. It's really amazing.
Thank you.